10 U.S. states with a large number of Trump supporters. What if I told you there are U.S. states where Donald Trump's support is so dominant that it's almost impossible to conceive of them ever voting for anyone else? In these deep red areas, Trump doesn't just win, he dominates. From coal mining communities to rural farm countries, his policy of cutting back on regulations, energy independence, and traditional values speaks loudly, guaranteeing a huge block of the vote. But what lies behind such unwavering devotion? And how do these states influence the destiny of American politics? Stay tuned to discover the 10 states where Trump's dominance is unassailable. You won't believe which one leads the pack. Number 10. South Dakota. Donald Trump garnered an impressive 64.07% of the vote in South Dakota in the 2024 presidential election, cementing his dominance over this historically conservative state. The win is equal to 3 important electoral college votes for Trump, further paving his way to the presidency. Historically, South Dakota has been in Trump's corner, as observed during the 2020 election when he received 62% of the votes against Joe Biden's 36%. Trump's message resonated with voters by identifying key themes, including economic development, immigration restrictions, and law enforcement. Trump's opponent, Kamala Harris, campaigned on progressive values such as building the healthcare and caregiving industries and protecting abortion rights. Though these were opposing platforms, Trump's message clearly resonated with the population. The state's politics have remained stable. It has not voted for a Democratic president since 1964, showing its strong Republican affiliation. Number 9. North Dakota. North Dakota has again turned out to be a stronghold of Donald Trump, with a dominant 65.11% vote in the 2024 presidential election. This sweeping victory reflects the state's strong Republican leanings and its support for Trump's policies, especially in energy and agriculture. North Dakota, being a leading energy producer, has remained a strong supporter of Trump's reducing rules and regulations and fossil fuel growth push, which appeals strongly to its voters. Trump's win margin in North Dakota in 2024 was even more significant than in 2020, when he won 65% of the vote. This increase is a sign of the state's unshakable faith in his leadership, even though there was a noticeable dip in the open display of Trump support, such as flags and signs. Political analysts attribute this to the state's conservative nature and its need to be recognized nationally as a primary energy and agricultural center. Number 8. Tennessee. Tennessee has again emerged as a stronghold for Donald Trump, with an overwhelming 60.66% of the vote in the 2024 presidential election. The landslide victory reflects the state's strong conservative roots and Trump's success in appealing to rural and working-class voters. His economic recovery, border security, and energy independence message struck a chord, particularly in rural counties where voter turnout was high. For example, Simpson County registered increased support for Trump, while urban centers such as Nashville and Memphis witnessed a decline in voter turnout, with turnout falling to 56.6% and 56.9%, respectively. Trump's victory was welcomed by Tennessee's Republican leaders, who attributed his policies to solving local issues such as increasing gas prices and illegal immigration. Experts, however, caution that Trump's suggested taxes on imports and immigration crackdowns may affect Tennessee's economy, especially its growing electric vehicle industry and industries that rely on migrant workers. Number 7. Kentucky. Kentucky has again proved to be a stronghold for Donald Trump, securing a whopping 62.09% of the vote in the 2024 presidential election. The sweeping victory is a testament to the state's strong conservative base and Trump's popularity among rural and working-class voters. Trump's economic recovery message, border security, and energy independence struck a chord, particularly in rural communities where voter turnout was high. For example, Simpson County registered more support for Trump, while urban centers such as Louisville and Lexington witnessed a decline in voter participation, with turnout falling to 56.6% and 56.9%, respectively. Kentucky Republican leaders hailed Trump's win, attributing his policies to tackling local issues such as increasing gas prices and illegal immigration. Number 6. Arkansas. Trump's 65.32% win in Arkansas in the 2024 election wasn't just a victory, it was a clear sign of how deeply the state identifies with his brand of conservatism. This overwhelming support is reflective of a growing trend in the state, where Republicans hold control at nearly every level. Why does Arkansas support Trump so overwhelmingly? The state is heavily rural, and Trump's vows to reduce regulations and bring jobs to key industries such as agriculture and energy resonate strongly with voters. His tax reductions, aimed at working-class families and small businesses, also find a receptive audience in the natural state. Culturally, Arkansas is a stronghold of conservative values. The state's citizens are attracted to Trump's positions on issues such as gun rights and opposition to abortion, making him the obvious choice for many. Number 5. Alabama. 65.23%. That's the level of support Donald Trump received in Alabama in the 2024 election. Nearly two-thirds of the state's voters supported him. Alabama is still very much in Trump's corner, carrying on its long history of Republican voting in presidential elections. So, why does Alabama support Trump so strongly? For one, Alabama's voters are highly conservative. Trump's emphasis on issues such as gun rights, pro-life policies, and religious freedom resonates with the state's large evangelical base. With Alabama's long history of Southern conservatism, it's no wonder that many Alabamians feel in harmony with Trump's values. On the economic front, Alabama's manufacturing and agricultural bases prosper under Trump's policies to reduce regulations and tax cuts, making his platform particularly attractive. The state's rural population also leans toward its promises of economic growth and less government interference. In short, Alabama's near-unanimous support for Trump in 2024 is a reflection of the state's strong conservatism and its fit with Trump's policies. Number 4. Idaho. Did you know that the results of Idaho's 2024 elections saw a huge 66.75% vote for Trump? Such a strong endorsement is a clear sign of just how conservative the state is. Idaho is one of the most solidly red states in the country, and Trump's win here is evidence of a long-running pattern of Republican control. Why is this? To begin with, Idaho's economy is closely associated with industries such as agriculture, energy, and timber, industries that benefit from Trump's pro-business policies to reduce regulations. Voters in Idaho perceive that Trump's economic strategy has benefited their livelihoods, making his policies seem more personal. Furthermore, Idaho is overwhelmingly rural and white, and these people are strong supporters of traditional family values and Second Amendment rights. Trump's positions on these matters have made him a favorite among Idahoans who appreciate these conservative values. Number 3. Oklahoma. In 2024, Oklahoma showed why it's one of the most Republican-friendly states in the country, with Donald Trump taking 65.37% of the vote. This wasn't just a victory. It was an extension of a trend that's been years in the making. Since 2000, Oklahoma has voted Democrat only once, and Trump's overwhelming support only reinforced that trend. What's fueling this red wave? A large part of it is the state's strong connection to the oil and gas industries. Trump's emphasis on cutting back on rules and energy independence strongly appeals to Oklahoma voters, who depend heavily on these industries. Couple that with his tough stance on gun rights and family values, and it's easy to see why so many in the state identify with his message. Number 2. Wyoming. In the 2024 election, Donald Trump received a massive 69.94% of the vote in Wyoming, solidifying the state's strong Republican base. This is no surprise. Wyoming has been one of the most consistently conservative states in recent history. The state's small, predominantly rural population and its close connections to industries such as energy and agriculture align well with Trump's agenda, which has focused on reducing regulations, energy independence, and reduced taxes. Wyoming's voters are attracted to Trump's promise of job creation in traditional industries such as coal and oil, industries that are crucial to the state's economy. His position on issues such as gun rights and religious freedom also appeals strongly to Wyoming's conservative values. Indeed, Trump's 2024 vote total closely matches his performance in earlier elections, where he also swept the state. His success in connecting with Wyoming's rural, working-class voters shows how well his message has taken root in this region, making Wyoming one of Trump's strongest support bases. Number 1. West Virginia. In the 2024 presidential election, Donald Trump won in West Virginia by a commanding margin, earning 69.97% of the vote, the largest percentage in the country. This landslide support reflects the state's solid Republican lean. Various factors account for this political climate. The economy of West Virginia is heavily invested in coal mining and energy production. Trump's agenda, calling for reducing regulations and favoring fossil fuels, resonates with many who make their living through these industries. Demographic patterns also come into play. West Virginia is a white, working-class state with a demographic that has increasingly voted Republican in recent decades. Cultural values prioritizing traditionalism and conservatism also fit well with Trump's agenda. Historically, West Virginia was a Democratic state, but the last 2 decades have witnessed a drastic shift. Economic adversity and perceptions of national Democratic policy as not being aligned with local interests have led to this transition. And that's it for today. What do you think? Did any of these states surprise you, or is this just what you expected? Let your thoughts drop in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this dive deep, don't forget to click that subscribe button for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.